What's going on? So this video is going to be about kind of a, I ain't gonna say about, but kind of a stitch to the Crimson Cure. But this video is actually going to be me explaining the concept of magic, the tarot, the left hand path. So let's get into it. So immediately, the whole concept, Crimson Cure specifically, but everyone in general, the whole concept of the left hand path and the tarot, things of this nature, is about personal self development. Why? Because right hand path is all about the beaten path, what it is that people already know because the path has already been done before. So the right hand path would be about um go you grow up, get yourself your own place, find yourself a partner, move out, get the house with the picket fence, have 2.5 little ones, and do your thing like that. The left hand path is, it's not a beaten path, which means that it's a concentration on what each and every single individual needs. Needs. I said it correctly. Some people may need to live by themselves and experience what living by themselves means because they've been taking care of so many people for so long that when they actually get themselves in a position to have that space, they may take they may decide for themselves, you know what, I'm done. I've been the parent. I spiritually been the parent. I've taken care of all these immature people who act like they don't have common sense. I don't think I'm going to have little ones. Or the right hand path would teach us that, after you get out of high school because you graduated it, now you want to go ahead and go to college. That would be the right hand path. The left hand path would be, oh, after you tried some college and you realize that it wasn't for you, now you want to drop out of college, okay? But you already have a plan as to you starting up your own business so you can support yourself. See, the left hand path, as I was saying before, is all about personal, individualistic, selfish self development. And when I say selfish, I don't mean selfish from a perspective of insanity, where it's cruelty, where it's about you're so selfish to the point where, you know, uh, other people don't come into the equation. No, when I say selfish, I mean the form of selfish that is actually the top priority on your own list, which is spiritual development, interpersonal relationships with oneself, and then going out and making decisions whether people approve of it or not. That's what the left hand path is. And to be even more particular about this, just to kind of bring that point home, the left hand path was created by melanated people just like you, just like the tarot system was. The tarot system and the Kabbalah, Tunnels of Set, Realm of Amalek, Clipoth, these elements, which is all left hand path, was created by the Moors. The tarot was created by the Moors. When the Moors had occupancy, when the Islamic pre-religious Moors had occupancy over the European royalty at the time, right? They had actually created the tarot system to help Europe spiritually develop. The tarot system would later day be watered down into playing cards, where you get poker and, you know uh blackjack, goldfish, things, these types of games, the playing cards. But I'll tell you why it is that a lot of people in this society actually misassociate, I have to say misassociate, uh people, or I should say, who practice that type of thinking for yourself, because that's what the left hand path is, thinking for yourself, deviating from the beaten path that everyone that uh people encourage other people to go down in society, right, is because it got co-opted by the MI6 and the MI5. Aleister Crowley, Aleister Crowley was from London. Aleister Crowley actually was working as a 007 agent, aka MI5 or MI6. You could go ahead and look this up. Aleister Crowley was actually British intelligence. And the whole concept of left-hand path or thinking for yourself, right? Becoming the deciding factor of who you are and what you want to be, yet at the same time being a part of the community, i.e., being a part of that Moorish empire, right? Actually was, or I should say, being a part of that Moorish empire influence and studied practice was actually co-opted, and it was co-opted for a while. But Aleister Crowley actually popularized that co-option by putting all the gruesome imagery and scenery into it. Anton LaVey, right, with the Anton LaVey Satanism, popularized his own version of it, right? It was co-opted because a lot of times people like to bag on left-hand path and study of the occult, but you have to ask yourself, this is the reason, why is it if occult practices and spiritual practices are so evil, why is it that the CIA actually uses people who have occult influence and occult abilities into their own technology and their own practices? There's a such thing called remote viewing, where the CIA actually uses psychics to view other countries to see what other countries are doing. So in actuality, occult practices is everywhere. See, there's a difference between religiosity, no offense, and spirituality. Religiosity, which is right hand path, represents what is the beaten path. Because what is religiosity? Organization. What people, I ain't gonna say 100% organization, because there's nothing wrong with being organized, but religiosity is all about extreme organization, respectfully, extreme organization, because there was a such thing as pre-Islam before there was the religious Islam. Pre-Islam is actually uh, Moorish practice, as to uh, modern day Islam is actually the religiosity. So when I say that I am left-hand path, pre-Islamic, Moorish American, Moorish, autochthonous Moorish American, uh, American, free American national. What am I speaking of? I'm speaking of the left-hand path, non-beaten path, Moorish American, free national citizenship and propriety. But I had to come to that realization myself. And it was a somewhat of a selfish thing. It doesn't mean that I was only looking out for me. No, I love my family members and they know that, and I do care about other people. But I took a look at what society wants me to be. I dropped out of college. I'm making more money now, ironically, than I would have ever have been if I actually went to college and got a training and a certificate, because school became my I should say life became my school. I started to create my own curriculum. But this is what happens with the left hand path when you when you go off the beaten path. I said beat off, but when you go off the beaten path. So the Tarot system is a tool for uh that left hand path. what the Tarot system in its essence actually is the study of these concepts, this Moorish principles within 78 cards with depictions on them, so that you can actually learn things about yourself, learn things about your surroundings, learn things about other people. It's basically a dive into the spiritual aspect, so that you can have realizations and empower yourself, because most people are actually asleep. Their souls are there, but they are not aware of it just yet. And the tarot system is actually meant to help speed up that process, so that they actually get in touch with their own soul in this lifetime, so they don't have to keep reincarnating, because we were all we were here before. So, you know, um those people that you talk about, that a lot of people like to bag on, those are the individuals who have basically tried the beaten path, failed, and is trying the more individualistic to the collective path, and will fail. Because a lot of times what people don't understand is the individuals who study occult practices and things of this nature, and spiritual practices, when they start to become off, and they go and do things that are drastic, more than likely they were already mentally off in the first place, and that these thought processes just threw them down that road, uh or that well, even further down. It just threw them down that well. So please, please do the research. Excuse me. Please do the research to the things that you talk about before you talk about it, and please put it in context before you actually talk about it the way that you do. Or, you know what, talk about it any way that you want. But it's not true if you talk about it without at least putting it into proper context.